Hi Dave! Hi! In Australia! It's Oscar here in Iceland. I got your email the other day. It made me really fucking angry! You know, I get 3 hours of sunlight per day. Every day, 3 hours! And you are arguing about 1 hour! Guess what time it is? Look around! It's a beautiful day in sunny Reykjavik at 20 minutes past 3 o'clock. I have to sit for 2 hours in front of ultraviolet light. This stops me from being funny in the head. It's called...
Hello fellas, long time no see. We're in Royal Oak, Michigan this week from our new home studio for next season. We had a few weeks off, but for now, week 16 is upon us. Or as more aptly known, the HFL Championship Week. It's been a while, so we'll give you guys a quick rundown of what's happened since our last broadcast. Fox, in their everlasting wisdom, canceled our show, but Netflix knew a good product when they saw one and picked us up for this week and next week's broadcast. So kudos to them. But here's what's happened on the field since we last spoke. In week 13, we had the seasons finalized when Kuhn the Cobb beat top-ranked Joykinoff. Hot Graham could have gotten the other bye, but failed to beat the Red Hot Tinker Stinkers. In week 14, with only 4 teams playing, Tinker Stinkers continued their domination and exploded for 175 points, knocking Mother Tuckers out of the playoffs. Hot Graham fell to the Don Goodell when his team only managed to score a putrid 75 points. The Toilet Bowl League took a break last week and had no games. Don Goodell will take on the bye-week fresh Kuhn the Cobb and the point-explosive Tinker Stinkers. Takes on Joykinoff. Now you're caught up. This week we'll recap the semifinal games from both leagues, preview the Toilet Bowl Championship, the third place game, and of course the battle for the HFL Cup. That is the grandpappy of them all, the Honkie Football League Championship game. But first, let's go over what happened in the consolation brackets. First up, we have 2 teams that made the playoffs, but that's all they did. It's the 5th place game. Hot Graham versus Mother Tuckers. Hot Graham and Mother Tuckers both fell short of their ultimate goals this year. Didn't even have a shot to land the 5th place spot in this league, which honestly no one even cares about. Both teams had mediocre games at quarterback, and really that's all they did. They were just mediocre across the board. But Hot Graham made the better call at defense and chose the Giants over Mother Tuckers' Tennessee decision. 16 is better than 7, and Hot Graham snagged the second to worst of the playoff-bound teams, while Mother Tuckers is the worst of the playoff-bound teams. Final score for our commish, 81.72 to Mother Tuckers, 76.10. Enjoy the off-season, fellas. You guys are both playing Golden Tee a week early this year. On to the teams that most certainly did not make the 16 playoffs. Got Goat versus Force in Butt. The Goat fancies himself the greatest of all time, hence the name, but between finishing 4-9 in the regular season, and then in the semis for the Toilet Bowl, he decided to start an inactive Julio Jones. That wasn't a good idea. Not so smart. They failed to proceed in the secondary tournament to force it in their butt, 76.34 to his 65.22. Next Toilet Bowl game, we got Taco versus 50 Shades of Gold. Taco put together a nice week with 27.3 from Drew Brees, double digits from Golden Tate, Roddy White, and Carolina's defense. But the bad season 50 Shades of Gold didn't stop in the regular season with 0 from Robbie Gold, -3 from Philly's defense, and 3.98 awful points out of awful Andy Dalton. They fell 55.78 to Taco's 93.6, putting an end to this sad season for our Chicago-dwelling league member. Now on to the teams that everyone cares about, the semifinal games. Got Joykinoff versus Tinker Stinkers. Tinker Stinkers entered the game on a 6-game win streak dating back to their last loss in Week 8 against none other than 50 Shades of Gold. Shows you where they were in the season. Now they're in the finals. Well, semifinals, I should say. That streak came up against defending champs Joykinoff in the HFL semifinals. Le'Veon Bell continued to terrorize fantasy football opponents this week with 23.9 for Tinker Stinkers, but he was only the 3rd highest scoring player in this matchup. Odell Beckham Jr., as he's known on this show, Old Dirty Beckham, dropped 30.3 this week with 3 touchdowns and 143 yards, followed up by Dez Bryant's 3-touchdown game for 114 yards, or 29.4 points for Joykinoff. Not even Connor Barth's 18 points for Tinker Stinkers, the kicker position, could save them. Their win streak ends at 6, along with their hopes of advancing to the HFL Finals. Final score here, 109.68 for the now third place competing Tinker Stinkers to the still defending champs Joiking Off and their 140.06, who will face the winner of our next matchup, the other semifinal game. Kuhn the Cobb and Don Goodell face off in this one. These two teams both had defenses that scored over 20 points. Both had awful games at the tight end position, but that is where the similarities ended. If I told you Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan both played each other and only one of them scored 22 and the other scored 8.1, would you think Matty Ice blew Week 15 for the Don? If you did, you'd be wrong. Aaron Rodgers stunk it up this week, posting the lowest score of his fantasy career. Sammy Watkins also shat the sheets with Deshaun Jackson and Julius Thomas. The three of them combined for 8.2 terrible season-ending points. The Don Goodell takes this one with a score of 98.8 to Kuhn the Cobb's 82.8. The Don will battle for his first title for the second time, while Kuhn tries to defeat Tinker Stinkers for the bronze in the HFL. It does it for the head-to-head portion of the show, though, and let's keep this dog sled moving and head on to the awards. We're going to cover the last three weeks pretty quickly here. So first up, we got the biggest loser. Week 13, Don Goodell made it to the playoffs, but lost their last regular season game by 43.96. What's more to say there, Don Goodell? What more? Yeah, you scored 98.74, but your opponent almost outscored you by 50%. It's a miracle that you made it to the ship. Get your ass together, son. Your Week 13's biggest loser, you earned it well, or rather, Mother Tuckers earned it for you, but who's counting? Week 14, Mother Tuckers and Hot Graham. What say you? You show up to the quarterfinals and get smashed by 35 apiece? Disgusting. But no sense in beating you guys up too much. You can't win the HFL Ultimate Prize anymore, and that's enough shame for you two. Share Week 14's Biggest Loser Award. They're yours. Week 15, no surprise here, 50 Shades of Gold lost by 37.78, where his awful season comes to a fitting end when he couldn't even muster more than 60 points for a record-breaking sixth time this season. Now it's on to our, that's it for our backlog of Biggest Loser Awards. Now we have the infamous Bench Boo Boo. Well. The final regular season Bench Boo Boo Award, and of course, it has to go down like this. As some of you may know, I keep a very strict journalistic tone to this program, despite the fact that I have a very heavy interest in this league as the GM of the defending champions, Joiking Off. Now, journalism integrity is important, and thus why I'm receiving Week 13's Bench Boo Boo Award. Losing by a total of 0.6 points is a great way to stop earning this award. Now let's really dig in. At QB, I stupidly started Romo. Could have had Cutler. He would have got me the win. I didn't do it. I get this week's Bench Boo Boo Award for Week 13. So stupid. So terrible. Week 14. Didn't have a Bench Boo Boo. But Week 15. Oh, Week 15 is another story. Kuhn the Cobb. You probably didn't want to hear your name here, friend, but I have bad news. Justin Forsett didn't do well. But that wouldn't be the worst thing if you hadn't lost. But you did lose. By 16 to be exact. Enter into the picture Jeremy Hill and his 27.2. It's a lot more than 16. Had you started Cincy's second best running back, you would have been in the finals facing me, but you didn't, so you've earned Week 15's Bench Boo Award. Hey, at least it wasn't the championship game, right? That must be nice. Let's all take a deep breath and remember one thing. Only 2 members of this league are happy with where they're at right now. That doesn't mean any of us can take time off and not put forth the best team possible. No one wants to be the last place team. Everyone wants just one more win to ride that high into next season. But it's been a fun one so far this season. But I make just one more plea to you all. Pay your dues. And next year, don't wait so damn long. That's it for Week 15. Next, we got the Week 16 preview. Let's take a look at the bracket. First, we'll look at the consolation loser bracket. Taco and Forsett in their butt both won their matchups this week and put themselves within reach of 7th place. Yippee! But that's better than than the other teams that lost to them last week. 50 Shades of Gold and the GOAT will be playing not to be in last place of the league, of course. If it's just those two teams, it has to be. They're both awful. Neither had a great season, and they wanted to go further, but boy, were they bad. Only one can be the worst, though. Let's look at the championship bracket, though. With Hot Graham already taking 5th place, the 3rd place game between Kuhn the Cobb and Tinker Stinkers is the first to look at. With a star-studded lineup that failed to reach the finals, I have to assume Tinker Stinkers will take this one, but in the playoffs, we don't do predictions here on the recap. With a squad of position players like Sammy Watkins, Eric Decker, Deshaun Jackson, Jeremy Hill, and Justin Forsett, it's a little shocking Kuhn the Cobb has done so well this year. But 3rd place is within reach still, just one tough opponent to get through. In our championship match, we have the stat-corrected runner-up, Don Goodell, coming in at 9-6 in the year, finishing the regular season in 6th place, led by DeMarco "My Hand Don't Work" Murray, the second highest scoring fantasy running back with 264.2 points in the season, and Calvin Megatron Johnson, who can change up any matchup any week because he's that explosive. They as a group will be facing off with 2013 the Honkie Cup champions Joy Knopf, who finished the regular season in 2nd place with a record of 9-4, led by Rob Party Monster Gronkowski, the fantasy leading tight end with 175.3 points in the season, and the 4th best scoring running back with Matt Forte and his 221.7 points in the season. This matchup is set to be very close, with good and bad matchups on each side. This one will be for the ages, with one side looking to get their first ever title after having one stripped from them a few seasons ago due to stat corrections, while the other opponent, me, looks to be the first repeat champion in the history of this illustrious league. From Royal Oak, gentlemen, that's it for Week 15. The recap on the Honkie Football League Network. I'm Mark Krasinski, truly wishing, in regards to only fantasy football, of course, bad luck to all of you, especially you, Joe Maselli. See you guys next week.